Well, it wasn't my choice. First of all, my basketball coach, he was the one who suggested that, there's a nationals going on, a national trials going on for Delhi team. And he suggested that since you're a basketball player, your hand-eye coordination is good. I was athletic, obviously. So he suggested try out as a goalkeeper. And coming from a military family, that honor of representing your nation was something that, that's really special for anyone.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tete-a-Tete with Inaya. Today's special guest on the show is an achiever in the field of sports who has proudly represented the country and also played at the highest professional level in India and abroad. I'm very excited to introduce Indian football star Aditi Chauhan.
Thanks, Inaya.
Aditi dons many hats. Apart from being an amazing goalkeeper, she also has a degree in sports management. She runs the Aditi Chauhan Foundation, which is doing amazing work, and she's also a versatile live broadcaster. So, Aditi Chauhan, welcome to my show, Tete-a-Tete with Inaya.
Thanks, Anaya.
It's a
Pleasure
privilege to
be
have you
here.
here, ma'am.
Pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be sharing my thoughts and my journey with you on this stage.
Definitely, let's have fun. Okay, so first of all, let's start at the very beginning. How did your love for sports develop?
I think, I come from a military family. I think wahan se there was this keeda of sports in me. My dad's always been a sports person, and my elder brother is also a sports person. So I think it kind of brewed in the family.
Right.
So right from the beginning, early days, the earliest memory that I have is of sports of my childhood. I remember I used to, shadow the moves that my brother used to do in his karate classes. Because I was too young to participate, so I used to shadow all the moves outside. And then, like slowly growing up, I was introduced to multiple sports, and I always enjoyed being out there on the field more than obviously in the class or anywhere else. I've always grown up and played with boys. That's always been my comfortable zone. I think, so sports came naturally to me.
Right. So, which sports were your favorite ones?
Well, I've done karate. I've got a black belt in karate.
Wow.
I've played basketball at inter-district level.
Right.
I've done athletics as well. Mostly anything. I didn't like to run, so I didn't do 100 meter, 200 meter, but I did shot put, discus throw, javelin.
Anything.
Yeah,
and everything
anything
you've
that
done.
to do with strength and power. I think I was really good at that. And then basketball slowly, as I grew up, basketball was something that I really enjoyed doing and playing. That's why I could reach that level of playing at district and inter-district level.
Yeah.
And then there was a switch to football.
So how did that switch to football come about? Because basketball and football are two very different sports.
Yeah, but actually, maybe well, it wasn't my choice. First of all,
Okay.
my basketball coach, he was the one who suggested that there's a nationals going on, a national trials going on for Delhi team, and he suggested that since you're a basketball player, your hand-eye coordination is good. I was athletic, obviously, so he suggested try out as a goalkeeper. It wasn't my choice to be a goalkeeper because obviously everybody wants to be the goal scorer. Nobody wants to stand in the goal. That's how it started. That's how football came in my life. Fortunately for me, I got selected in my first trial. I got selected as a 15, 16-year-old kid. I got selected for the under 19 Delhi team, and as a third choice keeper. And I didn't expect myself to be playing or having any minutes during the nationals, but I don't know what my coach thought. We were leading in one of the matches at the Delhi team, and he gave me a few minutes to play. And I really, that experience was transformative for me. I really enjoyed being on the field, enjoyed that position. I think it kind of also resonated and connected with my personality. It's more outgoing. It's a strong leadership kind of thing. And I think, I felt in my character, I felt in my element when I was playing as a goalkeeper.
So it was a very abrupt shift from basketball to football, right?
Kind of, but it's very similar. Goalkeeping is very similar to basketball, the ball handling. Obviously, there are a lot of small elements to details to goalkeeping that obviously with the time and experience I caught on. But hand-eye coordination, athleticism, your movement, your throws and everything, it comes in handy. Basketball comes in handy when you're doing goalkeeping, I feel.
So you now want to go back to basketball because that's where you started really from professional play.
I think the switch happened because I got my national team cap really early. I was 16 when I played for the under-19 India.
Wow.
And coming from a military family, that honor of representing your nation was something that, that's really special for anyone. And I felt that was really important for me to also continue pursuing this path and continue my journey in this sport, because for my family also, coming from a military family, they didn't have a lot of exposure. They didn't know what the future in sports would look like for a girl. So
I think that's a common problem that many girls
exactly, yeah,
face.
and it still is, and it's a valid point for thinking from parents' perspective. It makes sense. That's why I feel I was lucky and fortunate that that break came in early for me, in my life, representing the national team. It kind of gave me a direction that this is something that I maybe can pursue.
Right. But then you shifted to playing for the West Ham ladies in England. So how did that switch come about?
But that happened because I went abroad to study. I went there to do my master's in sports management.
Okay.
Like I mentioned earlier, because my family did not have a lot of exposure to what the career options could be like, or what the future in sports could look like. So they weren't very, open or happy, obviously, for me about me pursuing football or sports as a career.
Okay.
And they always emphasize that you can play as much as you want as long as you maintain your academic scores. And then today, looking back, I'm glad that they had that intelligence and they had that understanding how important academics is for anyone, for everyone.
Exactly.
In fact,
Yeah. It's always nice to have an academic base.
absolutely, and it not just helps you, off the field. You have a career, you have your backup option.
Right.
But in my experience, I've seen that it made a lot of impact and gave me a big advantage on the field also, because your IQ is much better.
Okay.
Your understanding of the game situation, especially for a goalkeeper, because as a goalkeeper, you have to perceive and you have to anticipate what the situations could happen in the next moment, and try to organize the team accordingly. So I think that's where I had a big advantage compared to other goalkeepers, and I think it also helped me get to the first starting spot in the team as well.
Right.
Because when I entered the national team, I got my ambition and my target was always to be the first choice keeper for the team. I wouldn't be happy to be sitting on the bench, obviously. So having, obviously I worked really, really hard, but I think education and having that qualifications helped me make better decisions also on the field.
And it made everyone trust you a little more to put you in that spot.
Absolutely, and I think, like I said, you also grasp things, what your goalkeeper coach is telling you. You understand where they're coming from, why they're saying certain things.
Right.
So you understand the reasons behind it. Obviously, like I said, the anticipation and all of that. But so as I was sharing that the reason why I went abroad was to study sports management. And in fact, that was also a very difficult decision and something that I had to really convince my parents that I wanted to pursue something like this, because this was back in 2014 when we didn't have like a sports industry. We didn't really have sports management, was unknown. There were no courses like these in India.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are a lot of courses and opportunities here in India as well. But yeah, I think for me, I early on and I realized that I was happy playing sports and being in this sector.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was just mature enough maybe to understand that even if I don't make a lot of money in pursuing this, I'll be happy. And that's what was important for me, that I want to be happy. I want to be connected to sports. That's my comfortable place and that's my happy place. So that's why I decided to pursue sports management, and convinced my parents. Thankfully, I had the support of my brother, which was important. So yeah, that's how it happened. And one important factor while I was trying to understand which university to apply to and to choose finally, Now, one important factor that was playing on my mind was also that I want to continue playing. It's not just about studying, but I also want to play. And England being the hub of football, and I knew the competition was going to be high. I was already playing for the senior team in India, and this could be the next exciting challenge for me at a personal level as a goalkeeper. To be there to see where I stand at international level in the UK. I was excited to also learn from the infrastructure, the environment that was already present in the UK. So those were all the factors that I accounted for when I kind of decided to pursue sports management in UK.
Okay, and then how was it like getting into the team over there at West
Yeah, it
Ham?
was really exciting. I remember, I was already, like I said, I was playing for the senior team. But when I reached there and got into the trials and the training sessions, I realized how competitive it is. How you have to take it's up a notch. I had to also evolve as a player, as an individual as well. I had to evolve my game as well, and I had to do that quickly because back in India, we only basic goalkeeping, your handling and everything was given importance. But there I realized I have to be good with my feet as well. I have to be thinking very quickly because the game is much faster. So those were things that excited me because that challenged me to improve my game quickly.
So women's football was much more advanced.
It was much more advanced. There was a better structure. There was a pathway of how you play from grassroots to amateur to professional. And there was a nice environment to support that growth as well. And those were gaps that I realized were there in India. There's no lack of talent. Obviously, it's such a big country with so many people. There's maybe some talented players, more talented players than abroad, but it's just about finding that right structure, the environment, and giving them the right support to grow further.
Is very important.
Absolutely.
You can't do something on your own. Of course, you need other people to support you and enable you to be at that.
Yeah, and show you a direction as well, the pathway that this is a possible option for you. It's not just about playing at an amateur level, but what are the profession? What does professionalism demand out of you? What does it mean to be professional in a sport? And what kind of environment do you need to grow as a player? So those were things that I kind of experienced and had exposure to in the UK. And I think that's something that I wanted to bring back to India. That's the learning that I want to bring back to India, to open up this pathway for the other girls, because I struggled a lot. And I didn't want, I also felt a kind of responsibility that, struggles that I've had, can I help one more girl to not face the same kind of struggle? Can I maybe make this path a little bit easier for them? And if I can do that, my struggle was worth it.
So when you did become a player for West Ham, of course, it opened several doors for you.
Yeah.
And back in India also, you got a lot of support on social media. You became a star online. So what was that like? Was it a surreal experience?
Yeah, it was surreal, and it was something that I never expected. Obviously, that was never the intention. I was just looking for an opportunity to play competitively, test myself, challenge myself. And I took up this responsibility on myself. I didn't have any agents or managers who were helping me out that, you could go to this club to try out, I figured out everything on my own.
Wow.
I started, like, obviously Google was my manager or agent. I started emailing all the clubs that were around London, because I was doing my internship in London, moved from Loughborough to London. And we had a couple of options. I went to Millwall FC, which was a second division club. But then I realized that because I was on a student visa, I could not play for a professional or semi-professional club. And then I ended up at West Ham, which was back then a third division club. But the goalkeeper coach, he really liked me. He was there at Millwall as well. And he suggested that West Ham is looking for a goalkeeper. Why don't you go and give trials? So, looking back, I feel like when you put in that hard work, when you're pursuing something, you don't know what the future is like. But when you're pursuing something with so much of dedication, maybe God just opens up some doors. So I think that's what happened with me with West Ham. I landed up at West Ham,
Right.
and obviously the name was quite big. I didn't at that moment. I didn't realize how big it was. Obviously, it was a huge opportunity for me personally, but I didn't realize how the news will catch on fire back in India as well. And I suddenly started getting a lot of messages from news channels as well, from social media, of course. Uh, and I just like for a moment I had to sit back and kind of realize that
Process
it's
this.
yeah process. I literally messaged my friend like, what's happening? What is this? I didn't expect this at all, but at some point it struck to me that it's not just about my journey alone now. It's about representation, and there are a lot of other girls who are looking up to me, and there are a lot of people who are looking up to me as someone who's playing
role
football
model.
in England. So yeah, it kind of then also became about responsibility of representation, and showing that it's not just about playing at the international level and playing abroad. We belong there. Indian women's football belongs at international stage.
Right. So then, did you want to continue there earlier in the UK, or did you want to come back because you did eventually?
Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, I was about 20, 21, so I wanted to obviously continue playing there. There was a lot of struggle with visa, and I used all of my contacts every day. I used to meet people, trying to figure out how can I make it happen? How can I stay in England and play in maybe another season? After a lot of like trying to figure out, thankfully, I created a job for myself at the university. Thankfully, they were, luckily they had opened a London campus, so I got a temporary work visa. So that helped me get the second season with West Ham.
Okay.
But I never thought of kind of settling down in the UK. The whole reason why I studied sports management was also to come back to India and work in developing women's sports in India.
Okay.
That was always a clear picture in my head. So yes, I wanted to stay to continue playing, to play basically, but for work and everything else, I wanted to come back to India.
Right. Okay. So you of course talked about how it was difficult for you to become an emerging player, a woman football player. So, but that was of course back when you were starting out. So, what would you say about the condition of Indian football for women now in this ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, since then a lot has changed. There's certainly a lot of improvement with the Indian Women's League. I think that was a major step in terms of introducing professionalism, what a professional league could look like, opening up doors. But obviously, we are far behind what the ideal situation would be. It's a slow work in process. There's still a lot of work to be done. Mainly, I feel marketing, broadcasting, investment is a huge thing that needs to go into really developing and extracting the full potential of women's football in India.
So I think the men's football got a huge boost from ISL, Indian Super League, because that really put football into perspective for a lot of Indians who were used to watching Premier League, but they didn't have that national connection.
And it became a viable professional profession, right?
So many
for
parents
youngsters.
are comfortable sending their boys to play.
Exactly.
I don't think women's football has that niche yet.
No, not yet, for sure. Like I said, ISL became a viable profession for youngsters, and for parents in India, it is extremely important. They are the ones. Our Indian culture, parents play a huge role in these kind of decisions, and for them to be convinced that yes, you can make enough money and you can live off the earnings that you get from this sport is a huge factor for them to kind of allow their kid to pursue this path. And something like that is missing in India still. Although, like I said, it's come very far. There are the Indian Women's League has become a little bit more professional, but we're still far away from where it should be or how it is in ISL. There's still a lot of investment that's lacking. I feel even if half of that investment is put in women's football, we can get much better results in women's football.
So I've heard from my dad several times that the women's team is more likely to qualify for the FIFA World
Absolutely,
Cup
it's a fact.
than the men. So
Yeah.
why do you think that is?
Because we're ranked higher
Okay.
in the world. The women's team is ranked higher. We're, I think, currently 56th in the world, whereas the men's team is around 100, 102, I guess. Um, uh, and even in Asia, we're ranked 11th in Asia. So if you look at it, we have better chances of qualifying. But yes, the plan, execution, and right investment has to be in place.
Lack of
So
investment,
it's
I
not
think,
just
is-
about just saying these things, because even I've heard multiple people coming up and saying these things that we can qualify. Yes, we can, but just talking about it is not enough. We have to have a plan and execution of that plan on ground for it to happen.
You think other societal issues also play a huge role in this about not bringing women's football to that level?
Yes, because you also have to, like I said, the parents have to be convinced. The people who are going to be supporting that ecosystem has to be there around the players to support them. It's not just, coaching. It's about also developing the players. Do we have the strength, conditioning, psychological aspects of it covered? Your nutrition, really taking care of the players to pursue that excellence that you're expecting out of them. So the whole society, the environment, the infrastructure around the players and the sport has to really grow for to achieve the full potential, I feel.
Right, and you've also founded the She Kicks Foundation, Aditi Chauhan Foundation.
Yeah.
So what's that about? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so all the learnings that I had in UK, growing up in India, playing for the national team, seeing the gaps that exist in the society, going abroad, experiencing, having that exposure and experiencing a professional environment, how it should be, and what it takes for for a team or for a sport to really grow. I even did my thesis on women's football in England to understand in depth how they were able to. 50 years back, women's football in UK was banned. Yeah, the women were banned, imagine, so to play football. So from there to now, competing for medals in Olympics and World Cup, they've come a long way. And I wanted to understand how they were able to achieve this, what are the steps that they did. And it was an input, and it was a collaborative effort from the federation, from the clubs, from the government, from the schools as well, which took women's football in England to this level. And that's what I feel in India is needed. So I wanted to come back, and I realized that there are a lot of people who are talking about women's football, but not a lot of work that's actually being done on the field at the ground. So She Kicks was my effort to kind of bring that difference, plug that gap. And I know that, it's not just about football. It's also about giving that confidence to the girls, providing that, really making them aware of their potential and what they can do with just having a strong opinion and having a voice. And I feel from my experience with this sport, it's brought out that personality and that side of my personality, which I didn't know existed. And I know this is the sport that can do the same for other girls as well. And so that is my effort with She Kicks to obviously create that pathway for aspiring professional footballers, but also making strong individuals. And
So how have you managed to do that? Like, what's some of the groundwork that you've been doing?
so we work with a lot of work with the underprivileged communities. We obviously provide coaching. My ambition is to provide that professional environment for the girls to kind of help them pursue this path of professional football. But also create pathways where they can still contribute in the sports industry in India.
Okay.
Because I understand that not everybody who's passionate about football can play at that top elite level. But can we utilize that passion, that drive to kind of fuel this and create this environment around women in sports for other girls to pursue the path. So that's the broader picture of She Kicks. Obviously, a lot of more work needs to be done, but I think this clarity on the path that we need to take, and step by step, I'm confident that we'll achieve that.
Now, before we started this interview, all of us here on set got a very pleasant surprise when Aditi's teammate, friend, and a legend of Indian women's football, Ashalata Devi, accompanied her for the shoot. So, of course, it would be criminal of me to not invite her on the show as well. So, it's my pleasure to welcome Indian football for women's legend, Ashalata Devi, ma'am, to the show. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here on the show. Like, हमने expect नहीं करा था ये obviously, but it's a pleasant surprise and a privilege to have you here. So, मैम आप पहली इंडियन वुमेन फुटबॉलर हो जिसने 100 टाइम्स खेला है इंटरनेशनली एंड अ स्पोर्ट. सो हाउ व्हाट्स इट लाइक, कैसा एक्सपीरियंस था एंड हाउ इज योर फुटबॉल जर्नी बीइंग?
जब मैंने फुटबॉल खेलना शुरू किया था तब कोई लड़की को खेलते हुए मैंने नहीं देखा, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे मेरे घर के आसपास में सब लड़के को खेलते हुए देख रहे हैं, कोई लड़की को नहीं. बट स्कूल का जब स्पोर्ट्स था उसी टाइम पे मैंने खेलना शुरू किया.
अच्छा.
या स्टार्टिंग में मुझे बहुत स्ट्रगल था, क्योंकि मेरे पेरेंट्स एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे थे. तो जब बाद में मैं अंडर 17 इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट करने का मौका मिला था, तब मेरे पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करने लगे. और 2008 से लेके अभी तक नेशनल टीम के लिए खेल रही थी. और
ऑलमोस्ट 17 इयर्स.
जी 17 इयर्स. और जब मैं 13 इयर्स की थी तब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था. और उसकी बेस में मैंने काफ़ी क्लब वगैरह खेला है, मतलब इंडिया का. और जब मैंने वहाँ पे मणिपुर में जब खेलना शुरू किया, वहाँ पे छोटा सा मेरे घर के पास एक क्लब था.
अच्छा.
तो वहाँ से मैंने स्टार्ट किया. फिर मैं 2013 में मैं दिल्ली में गढ़वा हीरोज में फिर यहाँ पे ट्रांसफ़र लेके खेला. और
अच्छा.
दिल्ली स्टेट के लिए भी मैंने 1 साल खेला था. और नेशनल गेम्स भी मैंने दिल्ली स्टेट के लिए खेला. और उसके बाद मैं रेलवे में जॉब किया 2014 में. और 2014 से ऑलमोस्ट अभी 10-11 ईयर्स हो गया रेलवे और रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ. और उसके साथ साथ नेशनल टीम के लिए खेल.
And she's also the longest serving captain of the national team. 6-7 सालों
wow.
से she's been the captain and leading the team. So that's also a huge honor and big responsibility that
The
she's taken
achievements
on
are
her
never
shoulders.
ending.
Yeah, because I think for women's team, being the captain is very different. In my experience, you have to take on the responsibility of the entire team. You have to do a lot more than just be present on the field.
Yeah.
Off field, जितना काम होता है to manage, especially imagine a team of 20-25 girls with, girls को manage करना वैसे ही आसान नहीं है. And to get them aligned to a single goal is a huge task. So for me, I give her a lot of credit and a lot of respect for taking on that kind of responsibility for so long. So yeah, it's great. I mean, it's an honor to be friends with her and to know her personally. I think as a person also she's a gem, and I'm glad to be her friend.
It's great. अच्छा मैम, मैंने एक चीज़ नोटिस करी है बहुत ज़्यादा कि मणिपुर से काफ़ी फुटबॉल प्लेयर्स आते हैं, बोथ मेन एंड वुमेन. तो ऐसा ट्रेंड क्यों है?
मेरे एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से मणिपुर में काफ़ी ग्राउंड है और हर कॉलोनी में ग्राउंड रहता है. और ऑब्वियसली उधर काफ़ी फुटबॉल को बहुत फेमस मानते हैं. और बहुत उधर लड़कियां बहुत खेलते हैं.
अच्छा.
तो उनको देखते देखते लड़कियां भी खेलना शुरू किया. और मतलब अभी तो काफ़ी, मतलब हर जगह पे बच्चे खेलने लगे. तो शायद उसकी वजह से इतना कम उम्र में उनको अवेयरनेस मिल गया फुटबॉल खेलने का. तो शायद हो सकते कि उनकी वजह से. और मे भी हमारा मणिपुर का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर काफ़ी अच्छा है, तो हो सकते हैं कि उनकी वजह से भी और ज़्यादा मणिपुर से नेशनल प्लेयर.
तो एक प्लेयर को रिकग्निशन मिलना ईजियर है मणिपुर में देन अदर स्टेट्स.
जी.
अच्छा. So, of course, there's a very prevalent topic now that a lot of Indians want India to qualify for FIFA. So, आपको लगता है कि हम especially the women's team next 10 years में कर सकती है qualify?
ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि हमारा रैंकिंग मेंस टीम से ज़्यादा अच्छा है, ये सबको पता है. फिर भी हम लोग ये चीज़ बोलते रहे हैं, मतलब हमें मेंस टीम से पहले क्वालिफाई होगा, ये बोलने से मतलब क्वालिफाई तो नहीं होने वाले।
हाँ हाँ
उसके हिसाब से हमें प्लानिंग करना पड़ेगा, हमें क्या करना चाहिए, हमारे ग्रास रूट और स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगले 10 साल में हम लोग वर्ल्ड कप खेलते हुए देख रहे हैं, तो बहुत सारे हमें चीज़ें को बेटर करने की कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी। तो ये मतलब हमारे एसोसिएशन जो भी इंडिया में जो बड़े बड़े क्लब्स है जो ISL खेल रहे हैं, उनको मतलब वुमेन्स फुटबॉल में और स्पेशली फोकस करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी भी IWL हो रहे हैं, बट इतना मतलब ISL का जो टीम है वो एक ही, अभी फिलहाल तो एक ही टीम पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं इस बंगाल। बाकी जो ISL का जो क्लब है वो लोग भी वुमेन्स फुटबॉल में ज़्यादा फोकस करेंगे, प्लेयर बेटर प्लेयर निकालने में फोकस करेंगे। तो आने वाले 10 साल में हम लोग वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफाई करने का बहुत बड़ा चांस है।
तो बेसिकली टैलेंट इशू नहीं है, इट्स द फैक्ट दैट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं है ताकि आप पहुंच सको। ठीक है, नाउ फाइनली अ क्वेश्चन टू बोथ ऑफ यू, what advice would you give a young girl wanting to pursue football as a career now in today's ecosystem in India?
Yeah, I think first I would say that believe that your dreams are valid, even if nobody else around you believes it. Secondly, be ready to work hard for it. I mean, really hard, and stay committed on that path, because it is a journey. It is going to be a struggle. It is something that's going to test every bit of you, mentally, physically, emotionally. So be ready for that, be committed towards your path and your ambition. And thirdly, don't wait for permission. I feel वेट करना कि कोई मुझे अलाउ कर दे, ये हो जाए, अगर ये कन्विंस हो जाए, don't wait for that. I feel believe in yourself and have an opinion, have a voice, and don't be afraid, don't shy away from voicing your opinion. I think mentally and physically you have to be really, really strong, and believe that what you dream and the things that you want to achieve are valid and are possible.
Right. Okay. Asha ma'am?
या ऑब्वियसली अदिति ने बहुत अच्छी तरीक़ा से बता दिया, और या मेरा मानना है कि आने वाले जनरेशन बहुत टफ होने वाले, और ऑब्वियसली जितना हमने मेहनत करेंगे इतना हमने जो स्ट्रगल किया है उससे भी ज़्यादा उन लोग को स्ट्रगल होने वाला है, क्योंकि काफ़ी टैलेंट प्लेयर, काफ़ी अच्छे प्लेयर अभी निकलने लगे। तो एज ए फुटबॉलर आपको 90 मिनट ज़्यादा फोकस करना ज़रूरी है, और कभी गिव अप नहीं करने का। मतलब ऑब्वियसली हर किसी का स्ट्रगल अलग अलग है, पर मेरा स्ट्रगल और किसी और का अलग होता है, बट सब लोग ऐसे नहीं सोचने का कि मेरे लाइफ में बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो रहे हैं, मेरे घर सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, बट हमेशा आपको फुटबॉल फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी आपने चूज़ किया है, तो हमेशा बाकी चीज़ें को छोड़ के आप हमेशा फुटबॉल को सामने रख रहे हैं, और स्पेशली हमें पर्सनल मैटर और प्रोफेशनल में मिक्सअप नहीं करने।
हाँ, बट आई थिंक वो पेरेंट्स को कन्विंस करना काफ़ी इट्स अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट, इजंट इट? बिकॉज some support is necessary to pursue something.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially. So how do you think we can get past that and convince parents to let their children, let their girls play football?
I think that perspective is changing. जब मैंने शुरू किया था to now, I think that perspective has changed a lot. But I feel कि वही जैसे हमने बोला कि एक प्रोफेशनल, जब तक पेरेंट्स को दिखेगा नहीं कि they don't see idols, they don't see role models who've done things or or on TV or someone they have access to, तब तक उनको भी समझ नहीं आएगा कि this is a path that's possible, or something that they can, their kid can pursue. So I think that is one thing is missing. Like I said, enough marketing, bringing role models within the sport, highlighting them, highlighting their presence, highlighting their journey is extremely important. पर मैं एक और चीज़ बोलूँगी to all the youngsters who are who might be seeing or the parents, कि ये जो बोला जाता है और दिस पर्सपेक्टिव कि स्पोर्ट्स खेल रहे हो तो एजुकेशन नहीं कर सकते, बैलेंस नहीं कर सकते, आई थिंक दैट्स कम्प्लीटली फॉल्स. आई हैव डन इट एंड आई कैन गारंटी एंड आई कैन टेल यू दैट इट्स एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप दोनों चीज़ को फाइंड द वे टू बैलेंस बोथ द थिंग्स. इट लाइक मैंने जैसे पहले अपने इंटरव्यू में बताया कि it helps you off the field. Of course, you have a backup option because not everybody who's passionate and who's putting in the hard work. मैं हम लोगों ने देखा है कितने लोग हमारे साथ जो खेल रहे थे, they had to drop out for various reasons.
Right.
But even if you have to drop out, if you have your educational backing, you can pursue something else. You can still have a job and live a life, because there's a lot more in life than just football. So education is extremely important. It helps you off the field, and on the field also it helps you majorly. And I think that's something that people don't talk enough about it.
Right. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for being here on this episode of my
Our
show.
pleasure, Inaya.
And this was a very informative interview and a very inspiring one as well. And I'm sure my viewers also feel the same.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning into this episode of my show, Tete-a-Tete with Inaya. I hope you had a wonderful time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.